And a very good day, everybody. It is Friday, June the 6th, 2025. It is exactly 1 p.m. Eastern Canadian time. And all that smog you see, all that haze, that's actually smoke from forest fires out west. Saskatchewan, Ontario, Manitoba, Alberta. And I checked on the map. Pretty impressive how far the smoke has traveled. Probably about 2,500 kilometers away from us here, blowing from the west eastward, and of course also affecting Toronto, affecting Ottawa, and all cities between here and Western Canada, even down into the United States. So yeah, man, that's pretty serious situation. A sign of the times, I guess, with climate change, global warming, and all that. And they're saying that these types of forest fires are only going to get worse and more frequent. So I guess maybe the new normal. Hopefully, things will change eventually. But anyways, yeah, we're here in the downtown core of Montreal, Canada. We're on Montreal Canadiens Boulevard. There's the Bell Center right there. And it's been a while since I actually did a walking video. Actually, I've been focusing on my drone lately, my new DJI Mini 4K drone that I got. Very impressed by it. Great photos, great videos. I'm learning the controls, and it's going to be great for videos, different things. And there's a view of Mount Royal again in the distance. Oh, that's forest fire smoke. That's Drummond Street, by the way. So yeah, I'll probably do a walk for maybe 15 minutes or so here, and just show you the summer vibes here in the downtown part of Montreal, Canada. Tough to see through the smoke, I guess, here, the haze. Now, it is worth mentioning, we did have, let's call it a major heat wave, but we did have temperatures probably in the upper 20s, lower 30s, talking about degrees Celsius. Earlier this week. It has cooled down a little bit, but still very warm out. But look, summer is around the corner, and it's always, I guess, good to get that relief from the winter and cold. Even though, for example, I prefer the cold rather than the heat, I still do like summer. I still like the warmth of the sun. And I love the lack of having to wear a jacket and all kinds of heavy clothing. So anyways, yeah, so we'll walk here north up Stanley for a little bit here. And for the weekend, I believe we may get maybe even a thunderstorm. So going back to what I was saying earlier, it's been a while since I did a walking video, and probably do more this summer. I want to get out in nature more. I want to get some nature parks filmed, nature walks, and also maybe explore some other areas around Montreal. There's Place Ville Marie in the distance. Of course, that's a good thing when it comes to having an all modes evening or weekend pass. Takes you anywhere around, whether it's zone A, B, C, or D, within Montreal or the surrounding zones. So that's always a good thing and very convenient. So probably be taking advantage of that pass coming up. I've actually stocked up on a few of them before they raise the price of those passes. The weekend and evening passes, as well as the monthly pass. Of course, I do have a Zone A monthly pass, which covers Montreal, but for the occasional trip outside of Montreal, I like to get an evening or weekend pass, which covers all the zones A, B, C, D, whether it's Longueuil, Laval, Saint Jerome, Chateauguay, you name it. So there's a lot to see out there, and it's pretty affordable way to get around. You don't need a car, you don't need a vehicle. Just $15 for a weekend pass. I think just under $7 for an evening pass, and you could explore in and around Montreal. And there's a 2020 Nova Bus LFS hybrid STM bus 420 route. By the way, we should be getting our 2025 long range Nova buses soon. Nova Bus LF SE Plus as they're called. Probably within the next couple of months if everything goes as planned. They are doing the testing right now, so that's something to look forward to. And of course we also have the REM that should be opening up later this year. And of course we're going to have the REM closing completely on the currently opened branch, the South Shore to Central Station branch, as they connect the lines. That's going to be a whole month of closing, sometime in, I think, July. I'd have to double check. Late June, July into August. I think it's going to be 8 weeks or so, maybe, or 4, 6, 8 weeks. I have to double check. But the REM will be completely closed and then reopen in August, and then around October we should see the opening of the West Island branches, other than the airport branch, which will probably be another year or two away or more, depending. But you know, they say October is when those West Island branches should open. Those other ones, the Anse-Lorne branch and the Dumontagne branch, but who knows? There's always delays, there's always issues when it comes to construction, and the REM has been postponed multiple times throughout the entire project. So just to, you know, give you an idea, I think it was supposed to originally have opened in the late 2010s, early 2020s, and yeah, it opened up, I think, later than scheduled, and also more expensive than scheduled. So very typical of, you know, these kind of projects. Nice little view there of the Sun Life building, one of the oldest buildings here in Montreal. So we'll cross over here, wait for the light to change, and this is of course René Lévesque Boulevard. So we'll wait for the light to change here and continue on to St. Catherine Street, and we'll see how the construction is coming there. So I'll resume the video once the light turns green here. Alright, as we wait for the light here, I want to show you another kind of light. This lighthouse here, this is Tourism New Brunswick ad campaign, and it's actually a lighthouse that's functioning, a mini little lighthouse. Look at that. And that bus shelter over there, by the way, always has some kind of cool advertisement. There's somebody wearing a face mask, which I do have with me, kind of a throwback to the COVID era, I guess you could say, when masking was the norm. I might even put it on later, depending on how the situation goes here with this air quality. Doesn't look like it's going to improve anytime within the next day or so. Maybe later tomorrow evening into Sunday, we'll see. There's, of course, Dorchester Square. If you want to see lots of pigeons and squirrels, that's the place to go. There's a nice bus there. Alright, so yeah, I'll check out St. Catherine Street quickly. I'll probably wrap the video up there. Just show you guys the construction, what's going on here. Of course, they're widening the sidewalks, redoing the entire road. It's another big project that's been going on for a while. Another Prevost bus. Yeah, this air is definitely not fun to be walking too long in. So they even have an air quality warning, as you can imagine. I think Montreal right now is one of the top polluted cities in the world as of right now, as of today. At least for the last few hours, our air quality is probably one of the lowest in the world right now. But imagine, you know, somewhere like India or China, where this is this is the daily norm, even worse than this. I mean, you ever take a look at certain clips or videos of New Delhi or other cities, you'll see just how polluted they are. It's crazy. So we'll cross here and check out St. Catherine Street in the next block here on back on Stanley. Here's a really old dry cleaner Taylor. Look at that, eh? It's like going back in time. Really well preserved. It's rare to see buildings like that in their original state from the 90s and 80s. Sort of like frozen in time. And another cool building is this one here, this Kodak photo center coming up here. And if you glance, you can see the rooftops of these different buildings, like this one over here. There's an old chimney there. Really old buildings. You could tell just by the look of them. Old architecture and whatnot. All right, so we'll head to Stanley here. Yeah, so this building here also pretty old, but this store here, I mean, they still exist. Film cameras where you take your pictures and goes onto the roll of film. You bring it to the store and they process it, develop it. And there's one right there. And those used to be everywhere in the 90s. Used to go to the pharmacy, different places like that. Corner store, they'd have a photo development center. You go there, you bring your roll of film, come back in a few hours, and you get your pictures. This here, I imagine there was a flag on this building at one point. Not sure what flag exactly. It would have been maybe the Canadian flag, Quebec flag, maybe City of Montreal flag. Yeah, so here we are coming up to St. Catherine Street. So a video will probably be around 13 minutes or so not too long. And I'll publish this probably next week sometime. Hopefully by then the air will be clearer. And next walking video I do, hopefully the air will also be better. So this is, of course, St. Catherine Street coming up, corner of Stanley. This used to be a bookstore here, I think Chapters, and they replaced it with a lingerie store. Imagine. I guess that shows you the priority of the times, you know, replacing bookstores with lingerie. So yeah, I'll show you guys. So here's St. Catherine Street right now. This is the progress of this section. And you can see work is still going on. I'll zoom in here a bit for you guys. I'm not going to walk to that other block there. But yeah, there it is, facing east. You can see the Eaton Center. And on a side note, I should mention that the Hudson Bay store, all of them across Canada, have officially closed now. Glad I got to document those escalators when I did. So that was a good thing. So, all right, so thanks for watching, everybody. As always, if you like what you see, hit the like button, subscribe, turn on your notification bells. More videos to come soon. Have a good night, good day. See y'all soon.